Morning. Good morning. Good morning. Da 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 da. Good morning, Cindy. Good morning. So listen, we're in the shop today. Oh, let me just stop for a moment. One of the things that uh, I realized recently is that when I do these presentations, I really should tell you guys who I am. Hi, I'm Ramona McKee with Quick Two Stitch. So today we're out in the shop. We're out in the shop because the one thing, good morning, Doug. The one thing I wasn't going to do this year, I did. Um, my husband and I, a couple of weeks ago, went to a CB radio event. I forget what they call it. It's where they compete against each other for the power, how much power they have. Well, anyways, while we were there, they had a vendor area. And Irvin got excited. He says, we can do hats. We can do hats. I said, no, not with the equipment we have. The equipment we have is too heavy to lift and move around. So he said, what can we do? I said, we could get a smaller machine. We could get a Happy Journey, which is a 7 needle embroidery machine. So he put me on the lookout for one, and I found one. Actually, found two. If there's anybody out there in the North Carolina area that's looking for a smaller machine, check out Happy Used Embroidery Equipment. There's one out there. Of course, it was 900 miles away, so it was a little far for me, but I did find one local, and we went and picked it up yesterday. Excuse me. Um, So yeah, and today it's sitting right over here. And today what we're going to do is we are going to talk about what you need to do when you buy a used embroidery machine. Now, the first thing I want to do is I want to tell those who are here and watching, uh, if you are new to embroidery, I know, Cindy, isn't it? Yeah, I've already got ideas flashing through my head already, how to set this up and how to, make it flow. We'll go over that on another episode. But if you are new to machine embroidery and you're looking to get your first multi-needle machine, and some of this can apply to your first used flatbed machine too. Um, I want you, if you're not familiar with this equipment, I want you to buddy up with somebody who is. There's a lot can be done in vetting a machine online, sending videos, asking questions, but you, a new user, may not know what questions to ask. So find yourself a seasoned embroidery machine operator who can help you ask the right questions. All right. Of course, if you are that seasoned embroidery machine user, you've already got a really good idea of what you should be looking for. And that's what we did. This is a used machine. The machine is, um, sorry, the dogs are running around. There may be somebody walking in the sidewalk. We're going to try to shush them. This is a used machine, the machine I'm going to work with today. It is 11 years old, but for a Happy, that's still a decent age. And talking to my friend at TexMax, Rene Rosales, he tells me that this machine has a lot of life left. If something should go wrong with it, the parts are still readily available and easy enough to fix out. These are all things you want to be aware of when you're buying a used piece of equipment. Don't hesitate to go back to the manufacturer and ask them questions about the particular piece you're looking at. Um, so here, this is what we've got. I've got a used machine that, hi, Jesse. Jesse's here. Everybody say hi, Jesse. So that's what we're going to do today is we're going to look at this machine. Yes, I've already purchased it. But here are the things that you need to do once you got your machine in place. Oh, let me just jump back a second. So you found a machine, you found a used machine, you've asked all the right questions. Now it's time to actually go see the machine live and in person. You want to see the machine running at its location. Plug it in. Take a file with you yourself, a file and the stabilizer, everything you need if you have to. Take it with you. I did, and I stitched out this hat. The one thing I did see in the stitch out was that the bobbin had an issue, but you know bobbins are easy enough to adjust and change. Um, but yes, take something with you, or hi Joe. Joe is here. Joe, long time. Good to see you. Where are you? Are you in States? Or are you, flitting off across the world somewhere? So, so you want to operate this machine at its location. If you, again, are a new operator, make sure that the seller is willing to show you this machine running. And the things you want to make sure of, you want to maybe have two or three color changes. You want to see the machine move, the head move, and change the needle color. You want to see the stitch progression. Welcome home, Joe. Joe's in Arizona this week. He does travel a lot, but you want to see the machine stitch. You want to make sure that it picks up the bobbin thread. You want to make sure that it follows its thread path, no thread breakage. Um, just want to make sure that it's progressing well for you. Diane, hi, Diane. Diane's here. So we have a used machine. We have it in our house now, and we're going to go over some of the things we're going to do. So I'm going to switch over to the machine. Ready? Here we go. This is the machine. This is a 7 needle happy journey. Again, like I said, it's 11 years old. Now, the seller did tell me that it had been sitting in storage for about 6 months, which means that it has a little bit of dirt on it, but that's okay. I'm sorry, I'm drinking coffee. I should probably put my little self up here, right? All right, where are we going here? We don't even know what we're doing. Oh, do, do, do. Well, my little self. Oh, there we go. All right. So, so this machine had been in storage, and one of the first things we're going to do. Hey, Brendan, it's good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. Um, Everybody say, hey. This is the man that develops your Wilcom software, and he's amazing. Let's see, we got to do this. So when you bring your machine home, one of the first things you're going to want to do is you're going to want to clean it. Now, I don't recommend taking a spray product and spraying it on the machine. If you're going to use a spray product, hi Barb. If you're going to use a spray product, spray it on the cloth and wipe from the cloth. I'm using pop-up cleaning cloths. And what you're going to do is you're going to go over all the areas of the machine. And I mean all the areas. You're going to try to get into all of those nooks and crannies. Now, honestly, I've already done this. Yeah. Did it yesterday, but I want you to know that you should do this. There's two reasons. Not only are you cleaning the outer body of the machine, the housing, but you're going to get a feel for any nicks or catches or anything that might disrupt your stitching. You're going to make sure while you're doing this that you're inspecting the machine and you're seeing where everything is and how everything looks. One of the things you're going to do is you're going to want to remove this cover. Now, I only have one needle thread and we'll talk about that later. We want to remove this front cover. On this machine, it's relatively easy. There's 4 little screws with a slide. Of course, I've already loosened 3 of them. And this cover does have a wire right in here, so you want to be careful how you handle that. But here's the thing you're looking for. Again, with your cleaning cloth, you're going to do some cleaning in here. You're going to lower the needle bars. You're going to clean in the little cracks and crevices. Again, you're doing this because you want to also make an inspection of the machine. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to want to make sure that your felt pads, that's, let's see if I can find a pointer here. Down in here are felt pads. They oil the needle bars as they go up and down. So you're going to want to put a fresh drop of oil in there just to make sure all is good with the world. All right. Now, on a day to day basis, you can oil this going through the front of the cover. But remember, we took the cover off so that we could see what's going on here and clean it all out. You're also going to want to put some oil up here. Can you see where I am? There's little springs here, and the springs are what actually operate the needles. So we got the presser foot. Sorry, yeah, you're right. That's the presser foot. And then we have the needle. And we're going to put a drop of oil on each of these as well. Now, if you feel that you've gotten too much oil on there, you can take a cloth and wipe some of it down. But I would run the machine first to make sure that everything is working properly. So we've oiled. Keep your oil handy. We're going to need it for something else. So we know that this area is now clean and it's properly oiled. We're going to put our cover back. Don't be afraid of this. It's part of your equipment, something you should be familiar with. The really nice thing about most commercial multi-needle machines is they're actually pretty easy to self-maintain. Yes, there are going to be times that, with especially with an aged machine, you may need to bring a tech in. But for the most part, you won't need a tech as long as you're not afraid to get in there and figure out what's going on with your machine. The next thing we want to do is we want to change out all the needles, all of them. You have no real idea of when these needles were last changed. So you're going to do that. Karina, we have Karina here from South Africa. No, you're doing just fine, Karina. Not late at all. It's good to see you. Thank you for being here. Uh-oh. Somebody's walking down the sidewalk. Let's see if we can get their attention. All right, so change all of your needles. And while all of the needles are out of the needle boxes, sorry, Bella, come back here. While all of the needles are out of the needle boxes, again, take your cloth and clean everything. Get behind it, go behind, do a flossing action, to clean everything. Excuse me, I'm sorry. All right. Come on. So sorry, everybody. I'm back. It's the life of living with animals in the house. So, again, you're going to take your cloth and you're going to clean around all of the presser feet, the needle boxes. You're going to get rid of all that dust and grime. Your thread catcher, be sure to wipe that down. Okay, so before we get to the bobbin area, our next job is to thread the machine. Now, most machines are going to come with some sort of threading already done, but is it right? And the only way you're going to know if it's right is if you follow the thread path yourself. You take your thread. Hold on. All right, you two. Quiet. Rambunctious little babies, aren't they? Go play somewhere else. I wish they understood a little bit better. Go on. Go on. Quiet. So you want to make sure that your machine is properly threaded all the way through. Every machine is going to have a thread path indicator. Follow that thread path. Look underneath. Let's see if we can see this. Let's bring this closer. Sorry. Anybody getting dizzy? All right. So follow that thread path. Thread. Everything's got a path. Lift up your tension disc. Clean underneath that. Remember, some of my favorite tools include disposable mascara wands. And I get under there and I just do a little scrubbing front and back on both areas. Every place I can get this little wand in there, I'm going to scrub. So I know that we have our tension disc and we follow that around. This one right here, this is my thread sensor. Be aware of where your thread sensors are, people. Um, Sorry, I'm missing a lot of messages here. Your thread sensor is going to tell the machine, it's going to tell the machine um, whether your thread is moving. If your thread is not moving, then it's a thread break. Let's see. How do you get oil in and out? Okay, Karina, we'll get to that in just a minute. Karina wants to know how to get oil out of the machine, or I'm sorry, out of fabric. All right. Um, Going back to the oil question, Karina, you're going to need to use solvents, some sort of oil solvent that is not going to stain the fabric itself. Um, I find that Dawn dishwashing liquid does a really good job. But of course, you need to do a little test wash to make sure it's not going to affect the color or quality of your fabric. So I'm threading this. Remember, I've already changed my needles out. So I'm just going to follow the threading as dictated by the machine. Just following it to the needle. I trim my end. Um, oh, Sorry, I know. Is this what's called performance anxiety? Okay. Oh, there it goes. Couldn't get that thread through the eye of the needle. All right. Okay, so we've threaded our machine, we've changed our needle. Go back to the beginning. We've cleaned our machine, we've oiled it, we've done the threading. Hi, Gail. We've threaded our machine. Now, the one area we have not cleaned yet is the bobbin area. And, I saved that for last. Let's see if we can't. I'm going to pop back up here myself because I need to lower the machine, or excuse me, the camera. And I don't want to make you guys like motion sick because, that can happen. All right. Any questions out there? Let's see. Do, 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 do. At least the dogs are quiet now. Anybody want a pack of animals? Do, do, do. Oops. This can be a little awkward because I need to kind of straddle the camera. But we'll get it, right? Oh, one more. All right. Let's hope this is right. You ready? Here we go. Oh, that's kind of bright. Of course, we need light. Do, do. Can you see in there? I don't know how much of this you can see. This is pretty dirty. And again, the machine's been in storage for a few months. And I'm trying not to make you motion sick, but here I am. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to pull the bobbin case out. We'll deal with that one in a minute. We're going to take our air blower. Some of you are using compressed air. I have, let me see if we can bring this back up. I have a rechargeable air compressor, handheld. It's really nice. I like it because, unlike canned air, um, it does not spit and sputter air. Yes, Barb wants to know if I would use a hook wash to wash this bobbin area. And yes, I would, but unfortunately, I'm out of hook wash. So we're going to have to do this the manual way. Cindy, I love the rechargeable air also. Again, it doesn't have any condensation, so it doesn't sputter. Um, and it's rechargeable. I will have to excuse myself again. We're going a bit long today, but here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to blow out what we can. Then our we're going to take our where is it? Our disposable mascara wand, maybe make a little bend so that we can get in there. Look at all that dust and debris. So we can get in there and try to pull all this extra out of here. Of course, sometimes you need to use a couple of these things. Oh, look at all this. We got thread stuck in here. One of the things we should do that I did not do is I did not loosen, and I don't think I can with this piece. We need to get underneath the needle plate also. Be sure to do that. Be sure to check the knife. Be sure to look for thread bits. Let's get this out of here. Oh, this is bad. I don't know if you can see that. Do you see this here? That is all thread wound around the shaft. We need to dig that out. You know, I saved this area for everybody to do live because in my world, I always say a clean machine is a happy machine. And one of the most critical areas to keep clean is your bobbin area, your hook, your bobbin case, your bobbin race. I'm going to turn the machine on because I need to turn this. I try to do all of this cleaning with the machine off. I try to do the cleaning with the machine off because you don't want to accidentally move something or turn something. But I need to hit the scissors button. Yeah, we're gonna have to go in there and do some deep work after our show today to get all of this out. Now, I'm not overly concerned at this point about running the machine because that's exactly what I wanted to do. Once we got this all done and cleaned, this whole area, these are Q-tips. This is another area that we need to put oil in. Now remember, this area needs to be oiled every day. Every day that you operate this machine, you need to oil. Now, sorry, moving you again. You also need to clean your bobbin case. Scrub it out, work the outside, lift the release. Please, people, remember this is not a handle when you put it back in. This is a release. It actually moves this little piece here, your catch, and the catch is what locks it into place in the machine. So once you have it cleaned on the outside, you are going to take, and I use a cut piece of Solo Cup. You're going to take and you're going to make sure that there's no debris underneath the bobbin spring. Okay? Load your bobbin onto the bobbin case. Place the case into the bobbin area. And we're going to come back here because I want to move the camera again. Right, and uh, we're going to raise the camera up again because our last step is to run a test. We're going to run an H test in our case today, and I'm sorry we're running a little bit long. Our case today, we are just running a single H because I've only loaded one color of thread. No. You recall I said that this machine's a bit older. This machine's touchscreen no longer works. But the nice thing about a lot of machines is you can operate it by mouse, which is exactly what we're going to do. First thing we need to do is load our H. Whoops. And then we're going to trace. Let's do a trace. That's a good trace. Go back home. I'll get to your question in just a moment, Doug, and then we're going to start. That test is dripping our oil, which is a good thing. Let's know if you're going to have an oil drip, have it on your test versus your actual project. When I get the machine fully clean, fully assessed, fully threaded, I will run a full set of H tests. Oh, because remember at the very beginning, I showed you that I had a little issue with the bobbin thread. But again, the bobbin thread is easy enough to fix. And here we are. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. I'm going to go off camera now, come back to you, set the camera off to the side. Um, this machine, one of the things Doug was asking, are you able to find out the difference between this machine and the current generation? This machine and the current generation both operate with the same control panel, which is great. This machine uh, has all the same functions as the original machine. What makes this machine different from the current generation, this machine is a model that is considered semi-commercial. What that means is it doesn't have the same um, doesn't have the same downward thrust power that the commercial machines do. Now, a couple of years back, from what I understand, it may have been longer, but I know it's at least 2 years. Um, they started, they added a model to the Journey lineup that had the semi commercial machine, which is this one. And then they had a power machine, which is a full commercial, which has the full strength. And that machine has the letter P in the model number. So it would be an HC. What is the model number here? Hold on. There it is. HCH 701P. But for what our projects are, what our need is for this machine, this older machine is going to be perfect. I have stitched a couple of hats on it, works great. The other thing is, I got a really good price, so that's something to look for when you are looking at used equipment. And I got all of the pieces that I need for it. Um, all right, so that's about all I have today. I got to finish cleaning up this machine and loading it, maybe running a couple of more tests. Are there any other questions? Well, thank you, Cindy. You know, I try to take my I try to take my subjects, my topics for coffee and conversation from real life experience. Well, here we are, real life experience. All right, everybody. You all have a great weekend. Thank you for being here. I'm going to hit the our end video and I'm going to say goodbye. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Fun? Do you have more questions? Do you want to learn something new? Join me at quicktostitch.com for coffee and conversation, and we'll talk about it. Embroidery machines, designs, and business. Hope to see you soon. Bye now.